What if I told you there's a secret formula for success? I'm not talking about luck or privilege, I'm talking about a repeatable blueprint, one that's said to have created more millionaires than pretty much anything else. Well, that's the big promise behind Napoleon Hill's legendary book, Think and Grow Rich, and today we're going to break that exact formula down for you.
Way back in 1908, Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest people who ever lived, gave a young journalist named Napoleon Hill a mission. And what a mission it was. Spend the next 20 years studying over 500 of the most successful people on the planet. We're talking giants like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, you name it. And his job? Find out what they all had in common. Find that secret.
So after 2 decades of work, Hill boiled it all down to this one powerful idea. Thoughts are things. Just let that sink in. Every single thing around us, every building, every company, every massive fortune, it all started as just an idea in someone's head. The journey to real success doesn't start with money. It starts in your mind.
Okay, so that sounds good, right? Thoughts are things. But what does that actually mean? How does it work in the real world? Well, Hill gives us the perfect story to show how this whole philosophy plays out, from start to finish.
So let me introduce you to this guy, Edwin Barnes. And listen, by every standard, he was a nobody. I mean, he had no money, zero connections, no obvious way to get ahead. In fact, people who met him basically just thought he looked like a bum. But, and this is the key, Barnes had something way more valuable than money or a fancy suit. He had one single thing, a burning desire. A goal so clear, it was like a fire in his mind. He didn't just want a job. No, he was going to become Thomas Edison's business partner, period.
And get this, he didn't even have the money for a train ticket, so he hopped on a freight train, a blind baggage car, to get to Edison's office. And when he showed up, his determination was so intense, so visible, that Edison gave him a job. It was a low-paying, unimportant job, but to Barnes, that didn't matter. He was in. He'd gotten his foot in the door.
Now this right here is where almost anyone else would have given up. For 5 years, Barnes did odd jobs around the lab, just waiting. His big goal never faded, not once. And then, finally, his chance came. Edison invented a new device, a dictating machine, but nobody wanted it. His own sales team said it was a dud and they couldn't sell it. But Barnes saw his opening. He went to Edison and said, "I can sell that machine," and boy did he ever. He sold it so well that Edison gave him the exclusive contract to sell it across the entire country. And the slogan they used? Made by Edison and installed by Barnes. Edwin Barnes, the guy who showed up with nothing, became a millionaire and Edison's partner. He literally thought himself into that partnership. So you see, Barnes' story is the perfect setup for the first, most important part of this formula. You have to win the war inside your own head before you can ever win out in the world. So let's dig into how Hill says you can actually master that inner world.
It all starts with this one thing. Hill calls it a burning desire. And this is not just, I wish I had more money. It's not a fuzzy hope. It's a specific, white-hot obsession. Remember, Barnes didn't just want a job. He wanted to be Edison's partner. That laser focus is everything. Okay, so how do you get that kind of desire? Well, Hill doesn't just leave it to chance. He gives us a very specific 6-step recipe. First, you have to know the exact amount of money you want. Second, what are you going to give to get it? Third, pick a definite date. Fourth, create a definite plan. Fifth, write it all down in a clear statement. And number 6, and this is the secret sauce, you have to read it out loud twice a day and actually feel and see yourself already having it.
All right, so you've got this burning desire. Now you need the fuel for that fire, and that fuel is faith. And we're not talking about just wishful thinking here. We're talking about a rock-solid, deep-down belief that you will get what you're after. It's the difference between saying, "Yeah, I hope this works out," and absolutely knowing this is happening.
So how do you build that kind of bulletproof faith? Hill calls it auto-suggestion. Think of it like this. You're programming your own mind. That 6th step, where you're reading your statement out loud with real feeling, that's you sending a direct order to your subconscious mind. And here's the thing about your subconscious. It doesn't argue. It just accepts what you tell it as fact and gets to work making it real.
Really, it all comes down to this one powerful idea. The man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Your outside world is just a reflection of what you truly believe on the inside. You have to believe it first. The achievement comes second.
But look, having a powerful mindset is only half the battle. You have to actually do something. You need to turn those thoughts into real-world results. This brings us to the grow rich part of the equation, the action steps.
And this quote right here just says it all, doesn't it? A goal is a dream with a deadline. I mean, without a real plan, a desire is just wishful thinking. The plan is what makes it concrete. It's the bridge that gets you from where you are now to where you want to be.
Now listen up, because this is huge. Your first plan? It's probably gonna fail. In fact, Hill is really clear on this. He says there's no such thing as permanent failure. There's only temporary defeat. Think about Thomas Edison again. The guy had 10,000 temporary defeats before he finally nailed the light bulb. See, a defeat isn't the end. It's just a sign that your plan's not working, and you need a new one. The only way to truly fail is to quit. So, okay, how do you get that kind of toughness to just keep going? Hill lays out 4 key things for building persistence. First, it all goes back to that burning desire. It has to be strong enough to keep you going. Second, you need that definite plan that you're constantly taking action on. Third, and this one's a big one, you have to protect your mind from all the negative voices and naysayers. And finally, you need support. You need a friendly alliance, what he calls a mastermind, to keep you encouraged. And that last piece, that friendly alliance, is so important, so absolutely critical, that Hill gives it its own entire section. Because here's the simple truth, nobody gets to the top alone. You have to tap into the power of other people. He calls this the mastermind, and the idea is pretty profound. It's when you get 2 or more people working together in total harmony, all focused on the same goal, they create something new, a kind of third, invisible supermind that gives every single person in the group way more brain power and energy than they'd have by themselves.
And this isn't just some nice idea. Andrew Carnegie himself said his entire fortune was built on the power of his mastermind group, which had about 50 people in it. Henry Ford's success just exploded once he started working with people like Thomas Edison. It just goes to show you, huge success is a team sport.
Okay, so we've been through a lot here. But the really beautiful thing about all of this is how neatly it all comes together. It's not just a bunch of random ideas, it's a complete, powerful blueprint for achievement.
So let's boil it all down. Here's the journey. You start inside your head with a burning desire. Then you bring it into the real world with a definite plan. You keep that plan alive through thick and thin with unwavering persistence. And you multiply all your efforts with the power of a mastermind. It's that simple, really. Mind, then action, then your network.
Look, according to Napoleon Hill, this isn't just some motivational fluff. It's a proven formula, timeless and tested. The blueprint is right here. It's in your hands now. So really, there's only one question left, and it's for you. What are you going to do with it? What will you decide to achieve?